Hey, it's Jordan with TYT Politics. I am here from lovely Covington, Kentucky, in my well-lit hotel room, and I'm here with Portia Berger. You're a friend of the Young Turks. Everybody knows you. You obviously longtime progressive activist, and you made some news at the Democratic National Convention last year. You were a very fierce supporter of Nina Turner, who is now the president of our revolution. And I wanted to talk to you today because obviously the People Summit was a large success. But a lot of people don't know that there's kind of mini People Summits in different formats and, machinations sprouting up all over the country. And you were telling me about something big happening in Ohio coming up. So I wanted to talk to you because I try to highlight as much as I can, lower level candidates, but now these conferences and these whether it's a conference or workshops or whatever, it's all what Bernie talks about, like from the ground up. So tell me what's going on.
Well, first of all, a lot of people don't know how to say my name. My last name is Bolger.
Bolger. All right.
Yeah, just so folks will know. Anyway, I'm really excited, Jordan. First of all, thanks for having me on. Myself and Matthias Dedamore, who you interviewed at the People Summit, he's from Dayton, Ohio, and has a local group that covers several counties, actually, the Miami Valley Progressive Caucus, and Diane Cook Kaiser, who's from the Tiffin area, which is northeast Ohio, got together and we formed a new group, Ohio Progressive Alliance. And our goal is to connect the rural and urban communities across the state of Ohio. We have 88 counties in Ohio. And so our kickoff event is called Mobilize 88. And in addition to connecting the progressive movements, in terms of connecting with rural and urban, we're also working very hard to focus on getting people to run for office from the precinct level, precinct chair, that's right in your neighborhood, all the way up to federal offices. So Mobilize 88 is going to take place on a very significant date in that it's the first anniversary of the DNC convention in Philly. And it's taking place at Deer Creek Lodge, which is in Mount Sterling, Ohio. And we start on Friday night at 6 o'clock and go through Sunday till noon. We've got an amazing lineup. Nina Turner, who is our keynote, and I'm so excited. She's the new president of our revolution, and of course she's a former state senator in Ohio, and she's been walking the talk all her life. And she'll not only be a keynote, but she's also going to be a trainer, and that's really important. She and a good friend of hers, Tara Mosley Samples, who I know you met at the summit as well, will be team teaching on the ins and outs of running for office. And who better than to help folks learn how to run for office than Nina? She knows how to talk to conservatives. She knows how to talk to Republicans, be they conservative or not. She's just really a bridge builder. And then, a Noah Changa, and I don't know if you know Stacey Hopkins, but Stacey is an amazing activist. They're both from Atlanta, and they're coming up to teach on connecting rural and urban communities. And we also have a man by the name of Dan Sachs who goes around our state teaching on how progressives should think about talking to conservatives. And then on Sunday, we're having action workshops. We have a lot of good workshops, a lot of good summits all over the country all the time. But sometimes a missing link is giving someone something to do when they get home, helping them understand what they learned and to put it into a form that makes sense to them. So we're really going to be focusing hard on explaining, teaching about the visions of Mobilize 88 on Sunday morning. And then our last session will be actually breakout sessions. We're breaking folks up in 6 geographic areas in Ohio, and then they will leave with a map template, so to speak, that they can tweak according to the culture of their area in Ohio, because we're all not alike. We're all Ohioans and we have a lot of similarities. But people talk different, they think differently in like where I live in rural Ohio than they would in the big cities. So I am just so excited about it.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is important because we saw in the election, and frankly, for the last decade, the Democratic Party has pretty much forgotten rural America. They've really focused on the big cities, identity politics, and Hillary Clinton barely. I don't even think she went to Wisconsin during the campaign. And what I saw going around to Trump rallies and Bernie rallies covering the campaign, I spoke with probably hundreds of Trump people that if I asked them, all right, if not Trump, who would you vote for? I was expecting them to say like Ted Cruz, maybe I don't know, Bush, whoever, and they were like Bernie Sanders. So the rural types and some conservative types can be reached if you talk in their language, and I think you're trying to kind of bridge that connection, so to speak.
Yeah, a really good example. I just found out about this about a month ago. One of the founders of the Tea Party, I kid you not, is leading a movement to save our environment. Now, is that cool or what? And she has a video, and I need to find that video. I forgot to save it. And she talks about how we need to talk to the right wing, the far right wing, about the climate. And in just a few words, we all, I think, or many of us know that if you talk about Obamacare, that shuts people down that are conservative. But if you talk about just health care in general or the Affordable Care Act, then their ears stay open. So sometimes it's just as simple as that. Mm-hmm. But also, it's very important for us to find ways to connect. Not just, did you vote for Trump? I mean, shut him down. If I want to talk about people and focus on issues, I need to leave Bernie, I need to leave Jill, I need to leave Hillary, I need to leave Trump out of the conversation, because it just immediately sets people into a defensive mode. So if I focus on issues, who doesn't want their grandma to be able to have Social Security? Who doesn't want their baby to have health care? We can connect. We really can.
Mm-hmm. And tell me, the Progressive Alliance event you're having is in Ohio, obviously. I always said during the campaign, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, I mean, John Kasich's Leave It to Beaver. The guy has done some bad stuff in Ohio and before Ohio, but he was definitely the more reasonable person in the face of that clown car. Can you talk about what specifically in Ohio you're facing? I mean, Ohio, like Michigan, was decimated by these trade deals. You also have environmental challenges like the Rover pipeline. Kasich talked a good game about, boosting the economy there, but people I speak to tell me it's not exactly booming in Ohio.
Now, I would like to give a positive shout out to John Kasich in terms of him actually standing up to the Tea Party legislator, because John Kasich also is a Tea Party guy. And we are controlled by the Tea Party Koch brother money here in Ohio, throwing out that boilerplate legislation all the time. But he vetoed the budget. In Ohio, governors have line item veto power, and so he did veto the money that they were going to take away from Medicare. He also, and I find this remarkable, he vetoed a line item about fast tracking fracking in our, I believe it's just our state parks, but I can't swear to you. State land maybe is a better way to put it. That's phenomenal to me. There's a couple of other things that he vetoed that are very promising. However, I want to emphasize that in our state we have this most draconian laws against women's right to choose. It's horrific. And if John Kasich was really, really serious about lifting up the budget of Ohio, he would get rid of this crazy tax break for the rich. They don't pay any taxes until they hit like $250,000. And I'm not giving you all the details, but that really harmed our local governments. Our school systems are suffering severely. And so John Kasich, I think, is just trying to get himself positioned for a run in 2020. That's my gut feeling. I haven't read anything about it, but what better way to try to gain votes from maybe the really conservative Democrats and the more moderate Republicans than to take some of these stances. I do not believe that he's not going to run. It would be horrifying if he was our president. Would it be better than Trump? Yep.
I think he's calling you. He wants to shut you up.
Yeah, I meant to turn that off. Actually, it's my daughter, but she'll wait.
Okay.
But I thought I had everything down so there would be no interruptions. But anyway, so John Kasich has, a lot of people don't know, but John Kasich worked for Lehman Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're the ones that hit the domino for the economic decline. So, and the Koch brothers are all the way behind him.
Yeah.
I just can't say enough about people understanding what the Koch brothers are doing, and that they need to visit a website. It's ALEC Exposed, ALEC. It is a phenomenal website. You can look it up by state. You can see what legislators have either been members and they were exposed, so they said they dropped off. You can see who's in office right now that are actually members of ALEC. And what they're doing, I mentioned it briefly, is that they're doing a whole lot of stuff. But one of the most horrible things that they've done, and very successful, is writing what's referred to as boilerplate legislation, stand your ground law, fighting back against health care, taking away women's right to choose. It goes on and on and on. And so for all the legislators from the state level to the federal level that they have bought, they put this legislation in those legislators' hands, and they do what they're told because they kiss the ring of the Koch brothers. Right. And it's going on in Ohio all the time.
So this your conference, tell people one more time what it's called, the dates, and I'm assuming it's not cheap to put something on like this. So if people want to help you out, how can they help?
Well, if they go to our website, it's OhioProgressiveAlliance.com. We have a Facebook page, Progressive Alliance. Ohio Progressive Alliance, and we also have a Twitter feed. We really do need help. We need a lot of help. This is not going to be cheap, but when you look at it from the perspective of what it costs to go to the People's Summit, it's not nearly as expensive as that. 2 nights in a hotel at Deer Creek Lodge is about $350. 4 people can stay in a room, and that $350 is with tax, Wi-Fi fees, everything, and then $75 for food, and that includes a Friday night reception, breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Saturday, and breakfast on Sunday. And I wish people would think about it this way too. How much would it cost to pay to get into a training that Nina Turner is leading up? How much would it cost to pay to go see her if she was a corporate shrill and charged big fees? So, but the entrance fee is $0. We're not charging anybody to get in the door. And we're trying desperately to raise the money, and it's really hard to raise money. You could donate too. But all you have to do is go to on the Ohio Progressive Alliance Facebook page. There's a pinned post that gives you that link. But we need your help, folks. There's a lot of people that have contacted me, Jordan, and said, I'd love to go, but I just can't afford it. People are poor in Ohio, and we've got all these progressives in the rural areas in particular that they just can't get there unless we find a way to pay for them.
Yeah.
So
it's
And there's expenses that we have to pay. We have to pay $800 just for the space to meet at Deer Creek, and there's other expenses involved.
it's interesting. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you an extra a couple bucks because I screwed up your name, so that's coming. But